And y'all, peace, love, and light is Venus Sublime, y'all, and welcome to Concepts with Miss V, where we focus on being spiritually fit. It's important for all of us to have good, proper spiritual hygiene, just as much as physical hygiene. You know what I mean? So that's what we do here in this channel. And thank you for showing up for yourself today, because when you show for you, you allow others to continue to be inspired to show up too. So thank you for being here. And we out here, we outside with it today. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of solitude and why it's so important on our spiritual journeys, on developing our spiritual fitness. Yeah. So this is my journal and I wrote some things down and I'm going to be looking down at it, you know what I mean? So don't mind me much, just so I can stay, you know, on track, because I can go on a tangent sometimes, just like now. So, the importance of solitude on our journey of being spiritually fit beings. It gives us the ability to observe our distractions and coping mechanisms, right? When we have time to ourselves, we can be able to sit with our energy and be in silence and observe what do we what do we distract ourselves with? How do I cope with, you know, when I'm not feeling good within myself or when things don't go my way? What do I do? You know what I mean? And when we're sitting in solitude with ourselves, these things become more apparent to us. It's shown to us. That's when we allow ourselves to sit in silence and to really just spend time in solitude. And it's important for us to sit in solitude so we can observe our distractions and coping mechanisms so that we may become more disciplined in the areas that we become distracted. For instance, for me, I can say that one of my distractions was like in the past men, right? um it's interesting, like they said that the three devils are men, drugs, and alcohol for women. And for women, reverse it, it's women, drugs, and alcohol. And interchange it however you want. If you're attracted to, you're a man attracted to a man, or a woman attracted to a man. There's no judgment here, you know what I mean? But just make it fit how it fits for you. Um, don't force nothing to fit right, but what resonates with you, allow it to resonate with you. But whatever you're attracted to, it can be used against you if you're not rooted in your intentions and connected to your focus, in your purpose of what you're supposed to be doing. So that's why it's so important for us to spend time by ourselves, because we can get wrapped up in other people's energies, right? And what the world wants us to focus on. And typically, whatever we focus on, where our attention goes, our energy flows, you know? So we're giving life and power and focus to other people's manifestations or other people's realities the more that we pay attention to them, right? So, how much of your life or how much of your day belongs to you truly? Think about that for a second. If you don't spend time to meditate or to go out into nature and, you know, to drink some tea to yourself or to do some yoga and stretch or take a bath, you know what I mean? Doing all these things that require just you, yourself, and God, then that means that you're investing your energy, your time, your focus, your manifestation powers, your life force energy towards other people's realities. And that can be scary when you think about it, because then you're like, dang, no wonder why I really don't feel all the way complete and whole and fulfilled in my life, because most of my focus and my energy and attention doesn't even belong to me. It's being siphoned throughout the day. 24 hours in a day. How much time, how much of those hours belong to you truly? How much of that time does it belong to me truly? And I have to be honest with myself. Sometimes, you know what I mean, I'll be mindlessly scrolling on Instagram and then this little voice in my head be like, excuse me, you supposed to be doing this. You supposed to be doing that. You know what I mean? And so it's like on the inside, we can feel when we need to pull our energy away from certain things and summon it back into ourselves. You know what I mean? Take it back, take our energy back to us, for us. So that's important for us to recognize and remember on a path of being spiritually fit beings is solitude is a blessing. You know what I mean? It's so important. And when we can identify our coping mechanisms, you know what I mean, and see if it's actually if it's benefiting us for the long run, in the long run, or if it's just temporarily benefiting us, you know, to make us feel good and complete and satisfied in that in the moment, but in the long run is still creating detriment because we're not really being present in our lives. You know what I mean? We're not really actively being the ones that's supporting and creating the life that we desire and that we want to experience. You know what I mean? So utilize solitude as your superpower because when you're able to be in that silence, you can really have that space of being radically honest with yourself because it's just you, yourself, and the divine, right? So within solitude, you'll become you'll become disciplined in the areas that you become most distracted. So identify your distractors, identify your coping mechanisms, and flip them to make them work for you. You know what I mean? Allow yourself to see if, for instance, if you get distracted, you distract yourself from music. Maybe you like music. Maybe take some time to, since you know what I mean, you take a lot of time consuming music, why don't you take some time to like write out some music? You know what I mean? Like our lives, we spend it's either we're consumers, right? Either we're the consumer or we're the producer. We're the one that's consuming information, consuming different people's ideas, or we're putting our ideas out, you know, to create and help sustain a life that we're participating in. You know what I mean? And that feels good. That feels like purpose because it's like we're contributing. We have something to offer. But we have to be able to sit in solitude so we can be able to allow the divine to guide us and show us how it is that we are to best off, you know, to best put out or best show up. So spending time in solitude is very important for that. And oh, if, another thing too, I talked about like the men thing is like I'll share like a little personal thing real quick. I would see that I would talk to men because it would make me feel good, right? It would make me feel good about myself because I wasn't taking the time to sit with myself to identify my own needs and that's what we're gonna get into next. You know what I mean? To solitude helps us to identify our needs, but I would just, you know what I mean? I would, oh, confirmation. You know what I mean? We ignore the outside voices, but and stay focused. But that's what I'm saying. It's like the outside world, it pulls at you, it pulls at your focus, and it doesn't allow you to really like create the life you want to live. So, like, I would just like talk to dudes, you know what I mean? Because I They made me feel good, and I didn't even really like. I mean, they were good people. They were nice people. You know what I mean? But I didn't really like them to the core. You know what I mean? I would just like entertain it. So you don't want to just live a life that you're just entertaining things just because it's fillers to fill up the space, fill up a void, make you feel better in that moment. You know what I mean? That's wasting your time. That's wasting time in the long run. You know what I mean? Spiritually fit beings, we look at the whole full picture. We move with intention, with purpose, for purpose. You know what I mean? Every moment in life matters, right? And sometimes we're not going to feel like showing up, but at least spend time with yourself, because then it'll show you that you're putting forth the efforts to invest in yourself. And that shows. Shows in your aura, in your spirit. You know what I mean? People can see that and sense that. So identify that within yourselves. You know what I mean? What are your distractions? What are your main distractors and your main coping mechanisms? And flip them on the head and make them work for you. You know what I mean? If one of your coping mechanisms is like you, like for instance, you like dudes or the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever, you know what I mean? Identify like, okay, why am I even talking to this person? Are we even compatible? You know what I mean? Why do I feel the need to be stimulated from someone outside of myself? You know what I mean? And and then have the discipline to say no and take your energy and your focus back into yourself, because that's where it really needs to be, because then you'll also see that reflection outside of you. You'll see that that person, they doing the same thing with you. You know what I mean? They only talking to you because they're using you for a feel good connection, exchange. They're using you as a filler, because that's what your energy is attracting, um what where your focus is at, right? Where you're vibrating at, the frequency you're vibrating on. So identify your coping mechanisms and your distractions, and really be honest with yourself, because this is our life. No one is going to do nothing for you that you don't do for yourself first. It just don't work that way. Solitude helps you to identify and specify your needs. This is what I was talking about. Like in solitude, it allows me to really sit with myself and be honest with, like, what do I need right now? It says this helps you become more clear in your focus and direction. It helps us become more autonomous and sovereign in demonstrating to others what our needs are, instead of coming from a codependent space of demanding others to guess our needs for us and to do more for us than we are willing to do for ourselves. We attract what we are in alignment with energetically. So a relationship built on energetic alignment will always feel incomplete, because that's where you aren't showing up for yourself. No one can fill a void within that only you can do, because no one else is you. No one else can feel and sense and truly know you to the core of you like you can do. Some people can come very close, but only you can feel what you truly need. And that's your responsibility. That's my responsibility. That's our responsibility for us to show up, right? And show people what our needs are. You know what I mean? It's my responsibility for me to have my blueprint of me. Why would someone else have my blueprint of me? That's dangerous. People who got the blueprint of you and they know it, and they know that you don't even got the copy of it, that you don't got the blueprint, you know what I mean? You don't even got a copy of your blueprint. That's dangerous. People can manipulate you. They manipulate you, they use you, and they abuse you because you don't know your worth. Your worth is written in your blueprint. And how would you know these things? How will we know this if we don't sit time? You know what I mean? If we don't spend time with ourselves, sitting in solitude. The blueprint is within us. Our instruction manual is inside of us. You know what I mean? By the way that we feel, what we pay attention to, where our focus goes to. You know what I mean? It's important for us to sit with ourselves and ask ourselves, well, what do I need right now? What do I need right now? I bet you know what I mean? I'm sure you can identify, with always being the one that's there for other people and meeting other people's needs. You can meet other people's needs easily, but when it comes to yourself, you're not able to meet your needs, you know what I mean? Or you're not even able to identify what it is that you need right now. I can say, well, let me speak for myself. I can say that I was that person, you know what I mean? And I'm still growing to become better at it. Being a spiritually fit person doesn't mean that sometimes, you're not going to, it doesn't mean that you're going to always feel spiritually fit. Being a spiritually fit person means that you're willing, you're putting the efforts to continue to work on your spirit, to continue to pour into yourself. You know what I mean? And not to ignore your inner world, right? Your inner world has to do with your spirituality because spirit means breath. And where is your breath located? Within. So that's so important. It gives you the healthy space. Solitude gives us the healthy space to recharge, regroup, and reprogram our energy. We take on so much energy from others without even noticing that it can burden us sometimes. If we never spend time alone to re energize ourselves, then we won't even know. We won't even know why, you know, we feel disconnected or we feel upset. We won't know why we feel lethargic, you know what I mean? We won't know why we feel anxious. Sometimes we're taking on other people's energies and we don't even know it because we're not even taking enough time, spending enough time with ourselves to identify what do we need right now? What do I need? Do I need to go drink some water? You know what I mean? Am I feeling low energy? Do I need to go take some sea moss? You know what I mean? Do I need to go out in nature? What you need right now, baby? What you need right now, boo? What you need right now, queen? What you need right now, king? What you need right now, empress? What you need right now, emperor? How do you talk to yourself? Spiritually fit beings have a unbreakable bond with themselves. It's important. If not, you can get energetically raped. I'm laughing, but that's not funny. You know what I mean? People can misuse and abuse and suck up your energy. Suck all your energy up. Energetic vampires, and you wouldn't even know it. You'll just be like, you'll show up looking like to the other person, to the vampire, that you're a willing participant because you're forfeiting, your power by not claiming your focus and your attention, you know what I mean, and your energy and your solitude and your sovereign essence, right? That's what solitude does for us. I spend a lot of time by myself, and it's important for me because when I go out and I'm interacting with other people, I feel drained because I'm exchanging with other people's energies the whole time that I'm engaging with other people, and since I spend a lot of time by myself, I can feel and sense other people's energies, you know, in contrast of my own energy now, because I spend a lot of time with my own energy. And that's what the benefits of being in solitude does for you. It strengthens your focus and identification capacity levels, of your own energy and what you need. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like, okay, well, I need to say no, or I need to go home. You know what I mean? But how would you know these things if you don't spend time with yourself? To be able to feel those subtle communications, that your essence is speaking to you about. You hear the crows, confirmation for somebody, and a white butterfly just flew past. So it's important to be available for those that we care about, but we can't exclude ourselves out of that equation, right? Self care requires silence, because in the silence, we heal our nervous system. Calm energy, silence. This is where God is felt. This is where we can rejuvenate. Know that you are deserving and worthy of silence and to feel good about yourself. You don't have to always be doing and giving and doing for other people. You know what I mean? It's important to have a balance between two, doing for others that we love, and the world, but it's also important for us to be for ourselves, be in silence. You know what I mean? To develop and strengthen our connection with ourselves, know how to self soothe ourselves, right? It's important. Calm and regulate our nervous systems. That allows us to manifest from a higher capacity, a higher frequency rate. 222 on the clock I just seen right now. So don't downplay the power of solitude and being with yourself. Also, make sure that you know the difference between solitude. Oh, look, confirmation from the dog too. Look, be loyal to yourself. Be, and I don't want to say like in a selfish way. I'm not saying that. No, be loyal to the soil. Be loyal to your essence. Be loyal to your energetic makeup, to your blueprint. But spend time in solitude knowing what that blueprint is for yourself, because nobody else can't read it. No one else can read it for you and decode it for you but you. They can give you clues and hints, you know what I mean? And give you different perspectives of your blueprints, right? We're all reflections of each other that help us better understand ourselves more articulately. Is that a word? Whatever. But it's just so important for us to really honor solitude and to know the difference. Make sure you know the difference between solitude and isolation, though. What's the difference? The difference between isolation and solitude is, y'all probably seen it backwards, but isolation means being alone. You separate yourself from the world to be alone. And you feel alone, right? Whereas solitude, however, you separate yourself to be alone with God. You be alone with yourself. You know what I mean? You're alone with source energy and all that is. So, one will either magnify feelings of being alone, separated, abandoned, and disencouraged, disempowered, small, anxious, off off put. That's what came through. You know what I mean? Like imbalanced. That's what isolation. That's why we isolate ourselves, because you know what I mean. We feel this way. We're trying to run away from something because we feel abandoned and disencouraged. But just know that you're never alone. That's why a lot of people don't want, they fear or try to avoid solitude or being with themselves. They always have to be around other people. They always got to be entangled in and incorporated in other people's business and other people's energies, you know what I mean? Because they feel isolated when they're with themselves, and that's a depiction right there that you disconnected from source. Go outside in nature, you know what I mean, and reconnect your essence to the essence of all that is with the divine. You know what I mean? Be reminded through nature of your true nature that's within you, because you're never truly alone. That's an illusion. The other energy, the other option, solitude, will magnify feelings of harmony, being deeply held, seen, acknowledged, accepted, and you'll feel supported. The book of life is within you. Spending time alone is important. It's a power move. So much high vibration, rejuvenation, articulation, insight, clear direction can come from solitude. Know that you're never truly alone. And if you feel alone, then that means that that's giving you the opportunity to reconnect deeper with source, reconnect with God, source energy that's within inside of you, because you're not alone, even if you might feel like it. Maybe there's that period of your life of you not seeing people physically around you or nobody that can really relate with you. Maybe because this is a season of you developing your peace, understanding what peace really is for you, accepting peace in your life. Maybe you spent your life in trauma and drama all the time, a dysregulated nervous system. Maybe God is giving you the opportunity for you to find your peace again, a deeper sense of peace. Because maybe where you're going, you'll need that. You'll need to have that foundation of God's source energy, solitude. So, on that note, thank you guys for showing up for yourselves today and tuning in to this video, Concepts with Miss V, where we focus on becoming spiritually fit, maintaining a spiritually fit regimen by talking about important things, you know what I mean? Being radically honest with ourselves, you know? So, if you would like to donate or share this video, like, subscribe, all of that goodness, it helps the channel. It helps us grow together. And I send you so much love, so much bliss, so much interconnectedness, power, empowerment, reminding you that you are never alone. You can tap on your heart with me right now. Let me do my forehead because I don't want to make all this noise. It's probably hurting y'all ears, but let's step on our crown, our third eye and our crown, and remind ourselves, I am never alone. Within my solitude, I find my power. I am never truly alone. Solitude is my superpower. I am activated through Source, who strengthens me and enlightens me, and directs me accordingly, purposefully, guiding me and showing me the ways of which I must show up for myself, showing me that I am never truly alone and that I am supported in all of which I am guided to do. All of my ideas, all of my gifts and talents and abilities are activated through making the devotion of spending time, true devotional time, with my spirit and my soul. I say, peace, y'all. Venus Sublime.